I welcome Gulzaira Mamonova from Omsk, and I'm very much looking forward to what you want to bring to us. And the audience, have your pens ready, ordinary pen and yellow and warm brown pen. And you need a little bit of paper, 2 sheets are enough. Gulzaira, I'm very much looking forward to what you bring to us.
Good evening, dear participants. Today's question is, how can we experience overcoming trauma through art? There are 7 life processes. They have correspondence to 7 planetary forces, the forces that create the world, the forces that have created the evolution of this world, of the person, the forces that create the body of the people. Those forces, they are creating also inside of the people. Thanks to the art, using 7 planetary gestures, we can connect ourselves to those forces of different planets. And also we connect ourselves with the depth of our I, of ourself. And then we can create our own life. Rudolf Steiner says, what we have experienced once unfolds through us in the world, accompanying all our thoughts with a subtle sense of pain or joy. Everything that we experienced once, like the feelings of heaviness, despair, they become a background experience, and they are embodied over and over again. The person feels him or herself as if fallen apart and taken away from the whole world. We can make such an image, the person, the traumatized person, like a dot and a circle. When a person is traumatized, he or she is whether on the periphery in this circle and can't feel him or herself. The inner part of this circle, it is our soul, and it becomes empty. It becomes very hard when a person is traumatized. Or a second variant is that a person becomes to a dot and is very deep in his own despair and feelings, and his soul is empty again. Our heart is, even when we are traumatized, it still can experience everything. It is very active, it is harmonizing everything happening with us. Thanks to the heart, we can come to ourselves. Our heart is like the sun inside of us own, and the life process is growing. The art technique for the sun is growing. And this technique is drawing the forms. We go from the center to the periphery. We connect ourselves with the world. We connect ourselves with the rhythms of this world. We find the balance. And now, Theodor, please show the picture of the sun. When we are in the center, when we are in this dot in the center, we can go out of our heart and get back to our heart, or we can get into the depth and then come back to our heart. And we can also experience the horizontal line. It is like the hugest round line, like the earth. The horizontal line is just a huge circle. It is the earth for us, for example. And when we get out in the macrocosm, we bring those forces from above into our depths. We meet our smaller self meets our macrocosmical self. And then in our center, in our heart, there can appear the healing. We can create our own destiny. We can go out into the world as a spiritual being. And the next process, the moon process. And today I would like to talk about 3 life processes. The first one is sun process. The second one, moon process. When the person is traumatized, he falls from the forces of the earth, the forces of the world, and he finds himself in the darkness where the instincts live, and he is then in this dark sphere where he encounters the feelings that he didn't like, the very active feelings that he experienced once. And if we look at the moon forces, they are weaving the forms in the world. The moon is gathering the light in a very careful way here and creating forms out of it. The old Egyptians said that the moon, she awakens everything from death to life. And in our brain, the forces of moon are very active. Our brain, it is like a mirror of the thoughts of the world. And due to the moon, we can bring everything into the world. And the technique of the moon is hatching. And now you can do one exercise to hatch. You will see now 2 pictures on the screen. If you want to draw, please sit down in a very convenient way for you. feel your feet. When we draw, we are in the objective world. We don't create our own so we feel the world and don't create our own laws. We feel the laws of the world. The moon is the light, the piece of paper, the sheet of paper is the light, and Hetchin helps us to gather this light. And our consciousness becomes dreamy, and it helps our soul to get some nourishment. The moon is giving some vivid images to ourselves, to our soul. And we come to the creative forces that live inside of us and that weave us and that we can experience in the world. The forms, all different forms we can see. And now you can draw either one object that you can see now in your room. The process of co-creating something is now happening. You are becoming a co-creator if you are drawing some object from your room, or you can deepen inside of you and draw something from your fantasy. Then you allow to the forces that are inside of you to be creative. Your soul forces through your heart weave through your hands, and you can see on the sheet of paper what is there that is living inside of your soul. And your consciousness, it is just observing what is there inside of you. And what you are experiencing now on your sheet of paper is just the part of yourself. Through the images of the world, our self can be visible in this world. And the next life process to which we will come to, the process of Mercury, is nourishment. Trauma is something that is very hard, and Mercury is bringing everything into dynamics. It helps us to connect us with the world through our breathing. Mercury is something that is bringing everything into movement. Dynamic drawing, this is the technique of Mercury. This technique is like Mercury itself. And now, if you would like to draw in the technique of Mercury, we need a picture on the screen now, please. And you will see 3 pictures. On the first picture, you can see something that lives deep inside of us, something that wants to show itself. And when we want for this something to be seen, we just allow it to come on the piece of paper. The next two pictures are just the pictures that I drew overnight. Please take a yellow pen, and the movement should be circling or in spirals in each direction, circles, spirals to the left, to the right, up and down. It is very playful. Let yourself to play. Let yourself to experience how something is coming to life, and then getting then becoming something else. And when you feel that it is enough now to circle, then you can take another pen of a more of the color that is close to the earth, like brown, and help the forces that want to be healed in yourself to be healed. When we are working in this technique, we allow ourselves to connect us with the forces that are creating this world, and we become the freedom to be active in this world, to create this world around us, to be active citizens of the world. Rudolf Steiner said once, what I did inside of me, that is how the world is. And there are 4 more life processes. I will just tell quite a little about them. The planets of Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus. Mars. It is coal, painting into coal. Theodore, please show Gulzaira with a big on this. So you can see 2 pictures. The left person is in the despair, and you can see how the light and the darkness are conquering inside of the person. Mars is encountering oneself, encountering darkness and light. Jupiter is warming, life process of warming, and the technique that we can take for Jupiter is geometrical forms, and you can see a circle and a square, and it is like the cosmical forces and the earth forces, how they connect with one another. How this also happens inside of our own body, and how to do it in a harmonious way. And the next one, Venus. You can see it is pastel, different pictures, very easy pictures. The colors, different colors. Venus is breathing. Pastel is also something very physical, because it is very hot. The next planet is Saturn, drawing some objects in the world outside of us. We observe the objects, and it is important that we draw from the periphery to inside. We come from the periphery while drawing in this technique. And the life processes that correspond to Saturn is regeneration, and to Mars is up. Sorry. That's it for today. You can ask questions now. Oda, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Thank you so much, Gulzaira. It's wonderful to do these drawings with you. The hatching and the free movements in the yellow color. And yeah, filling it with earth qualities afterwards. We've got questions while we were working, and I'd love to put them to you. Monica is asking, does it matter in which direction I do the hatching? From above towards below, from below towards above, left and right? What would you say?
Yes, it is very important. We are hatching towards ourselves. It is the moon process of incarnating. We are coming to ourselves, towards ourselves. And when we are drawing in the crosses, when we are drawing some crosses, it is as if excarnating. When we are hatching, we are as if making ourselves dreamy. And when we draw crosses, it is waking us up, and so it is a little bit excarnating. When we are talking about moon process, but when we are talking about Mars, then it is very important to have crosses there because mass is encountering.
So when I understand right, this hedging, yeah, you do it like this, and the lines do not cross, they just glide along each other. And that makes you dreamlike, yeah? And doing the hedges from above towards you is like letting something drop, and you experience this in you, and that makes you incarnate. Huh? And then you do, if you would do the hedging, but you would make crosses like this, yeah? This would reinforce your forces of encounter, how you put it, which would make you awake, and in this sense, excarnate you from the moon processes which want you to arrive in your inner. Can one put it like this? Good. Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Because there came the question that when you do the crossing, for example, when you do stitching, it's incarnating. Yeah. So that's, I haven't got the name here. Why is it incarnating when you do stitching? Why is it excarnating when you do drawing?
When we are drawing crosses in the technique of mass with the coal, the portraits, it helps us to incarnate. But when we are drawing in the technique of moon, we are coming into another world, into the fairy tale world, the world of the moon, and then it is excarnating us from this fairy tale dreamy world.
Yeah, understood. Thank you. There are questions about what we did with the yellow lines and the Mercury. And Annette is asking, do we draw only round lines or also circles where the lines are returning into itself?
We do a wavy movement, huge, small waves, lemniscates, the eighth, it is like moving the whole time. It never stops, this movement.
Yeah. And there's a question, we did it in yellow now. And the question is, why do children draw in black color? What would you say to this question?
It is often nowadays that children enjoy black color. Maybe because at the moment the children are too awake. And in any case, you can't say that, oh, what should we do? It shouldn't be like that. At the moment, the children are just different than they used to be earlier. In the world of pedagogics, these earth colors like black, they begin coming from the 4th class. But if we have a child who enjoys drawing in black color and is younger than that, we just need to observe what does this child draw, how does this child draw, whether something very hard, something that doesn't have any movement inside of it, or does the child draw just the parts of the body or the whole person, or whatever he does, and why does he do it?
No. Back to the yellow colors, Roberta is asking, when you do these yellow lines, how long may you do it? How long can you do it before you change to the earthly brown, warm brown colors?
If you have the tendency to be too much in the fantasy world, in illusion, it is important to control a little bit this yellow color and not to stay in it for a long time. And if the person is traumatized, maybe it is worth not to take yellow at all, and to take from the very beginning the earth color. You can take yellow brown, so light brown color, for example, and dark brown color, those two colors then. Because if a person is too much on the periphery, or has the tendency to go on the periphery or into his or her own fantasy, then you need to be attentive with the yellow color. Also, when you are taking the moon technique, it is important to see what person do you have. When this person is too dreamy, whether this person needs this technique. Moon is helping us to nourish our soul. But if the person has a tendency to go into illusions, you need to be very attentive with this process. With this technique. In any case, you need to be attentive and to have a look what do you want to get, where do you want to go, how do you feel yourself. If you are too deepened into the dark brown color, for example, why does it happen to you? So be attentive while drawing.
That's also the question of Sto 22. He or she says, points at it not so only from the point of view of color, but says it was said that the power of Mercury makes that nothing stays stable. All is in movement. All is in movement. That's what Mercury cares for. So is this movement aspect a danger to become re-traumatized? And if yes, if you notice it happen, what do you do? And if movement does not cause it, why does it not do it?
Yes, the boundary, when we were looking at a person as a dot and a circle, when the person isn't in his or her own heart and lives on the periphery, it is very easy for this person to fall down in the abyss. if the person has a tendency to live in illusion, it can be dangerous. You could take a green color, for example, and each therapy you can treat it as a medicine. You always need to observe how does it influence me. Through the art, we connect with the world forces that are building our own body. How do we come into the connection with these forces? How do they influence our own body? Each person is an individual, and in each one of us, those forces are also individual, creative in their own way.
And maybe you can also influence the speed in which you draw the lines. If you do it quickly or if you do it slowly, it also affects what happens. Is this correct?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It is also important when a person, a sanguine person, for example, these kind of people, they can't stop, and you can treat it like a medicine for them. Please slow down a little bit, just a little bit, just control yourself a little bit, observe yourself. You don't need to stop yourself, just observe. Now I'm going to the left, now to the right, to the bottom, and so on. So you make the process that is unconscious normally a conscious process.
We have now spoken about how you draw and what you can pay attention to, but in your pictures one saw after a while these forms get meaning when you start filling them in. Yeah, you can see things in it and you can bring them forward. And Galina is asking if you see something which is uncomfortable when you look at it, yeah, which maybe even this what you dislike, yeah. How do I work with it? Can I change it? Shall I transform it into something else?
It is important not to deny what you just drew, because everything that we draw is a part of ourselves. It is the mirror of how we feel now. And it's all right, it's us now. It is like the first step about which Irina Bondarevich was talking. The first step is the truth. Now the truth is like that. I need to accept it. It helps me to develop, like Don Quixote, who was struggling with the mile. It is important to see something and to come into connection with it. And if we can't do it on our own, we need to ask professionals to help us. It isn't always easy to accept ourselves. It can be very painful. But I would like to say that when we are drawing, then something is coming up that is like on the upper spheres of ourselves. It is rather rare that something is coming up from the depth of ourselves. When this happening, we surely need to go to a specialist, but this happens rather rarely while drawing. I'm talking now about post-traumatic experience. If trauma is very new, then it is often like that something is jumping out from inside of us. Then it's important that you consult a specialist.
You now said, if I understood it right, okay, you see something in it, don't try to change it and draw something on it. And Yvonne has written in the chat, I turned the paper and looked at it from a different angle. Would you say, how would you say how appropriate this is?
Yes, it's very nice if you like this picture now, this drawing. It's all right, but next time just look why does it happen like that. Sometimes it is something very precious that is coming from inside of us. Like some mount where the treasures are, and you need to find those treasures. When you like something, just find why do you like it.
Yeah. So what I heard was, don't try to change things, but if you can turn it in a way that you can look at it from a different angle and suddenly you see something you like, why not? And maybe this again allows you to look back at how it was in the first moment, because then you see what else is also in it, or you know now. Roberta asks, does it matter which direction I have the piece of paper in front of me, like this or like this?
Yes, surely everything matters. It is an important question. When we have the drawing horizontal, it is more our soul life, and vertical, it is our consciousness. When you draw from yourself, you can ask yourself, what is important for me now? And if you want to awake yourself, then put it vertical. It will awaken you. It will bring some consciousness to you.
Yeah.
And for example, when we draw the forms, it is better to draw while standing. Then the whole body is involved into drawing. And then we can experience more active. We can connect ourselves better to this process. And the main point is to remember that you are just the instrument, the mean over your soul that is talking through yourself. When we allow our own forces to ray into our soul, then we are creating ourselves, we are co-creating our soul life and also the world outside of us.
Judith is asking, with people of what age do you work most successfully? Which age responds to this technique of painting and drawing most?
In each age, you need to draw in own way. Just like when you are doing eurythmy, you will do it in a different way with the children and with the adults. How old is the person? What kind of questions does he or she has at the moment? It all influences the technique that we use. Those techniques are universal for 7 life forces. But for example, geometry, you won't do it, give it too early for a child, or to draw the objects in the room when a child is very young. It can be difficult for children, so you can't give it to very young children. Or, for example, drawing with coal, you won't ask very young children. Before teenage, you won't draw coal with them. So the age, like when the children are very young, the techniques are very different. But those techniques we had today here, start in teenage and up to adults.
So what you say, painting and drawing is for all ages, every age, and to just differ to what's possible, but mainly to what is needed, which life processes and soul process you want to foster. Yeah. There was the question, I think that would be a great question to conclude with, is can you explain once again the techniques for the Venus, the Jupiter and Saturn, and maybe, yeah, say a few more words about, yeah, what's behind them. You have shown it, but maybe just bring it once again, please. That's the question.
Venus, breathing. When we are traumatized, we can see that our breathing is isn't all right. The connection with the world isn't all right. Our memory is reproducing the same experiences, and then pastel is colorful, and it is important to use the colors. When the soul is traumatized, it lives in darkness, in black color, and when person experiences just a little sorrow, then it falls into the depth of despair. It can't experience some slight sorrow. It goes immediately into the depth of despair. And then it is very important to help the person to experience a lot of slight, subtle colors. Then the soul can be more active and diverse in forming the world. You can take only 2 colors, 3 colors. You can create something with those colors. You can observe the sun sets and how does it happen in the world? How does the sun rise? What colors are there? How does our soul experience nature? Or to draw the fairy tales. It is also Venus. Those are archetypes that are very nourishing for soul. When the person is traumatized, it is on its own. It isn't connected anymore to the world. Jupiter, geometry, bringing the cosmic light into the darkness, the process of connecting the light of our consciousness and our will. How does our thoughts become our deeds? Something that we intend to do, how does it happen that we really do it? It is a very subtle connection. How do we digest food, for example? That's how we are connected with the world, how we interact with the world. We don't see this world, we don't understand this world unless we connect with it. We need to connect light and darkness, and geometry is helping us do it, because those are the forces, the laws of the spirit, and we are bringing our will into those laws. Mass, excursion, and coal, drawing in with coal, and not necessarily portraits. We can draw whatever we want. The most important thing is how do we gather darkness? How do we control darkness? When a person is traumatized, trauma is forcing the person to act in one way, and how whole mass is helping the person to control trauma. Saturn is our bones. The bones, they are dead, the most dead part of ourselves, but in this most dead part of ourselves, we can unfold us. When we connect with the objects of the world, how do we see it? How do we hear it? Or how do we feel it when we touch? When we observe some object, we connect us with it. And it is important to begin from outline, and then to bring colors into this form. How do we connect ourselves to the world? We can experience that we are one with the world. And Theodore said at the first meeting, during the first meeting, we need to become senses, so that the world begins to vibrate in ourselves. And I believe it is those are very precise words that tell us about importance.
Gulzaira, so deep words. Yeah, I'm so grateful for what you are sharing. I can feel that what you're speaking about, that's not just theory, but you speak out of experience. And you are also running courses, following this principle, and also through Eurythmy for You, you offer those courses. That's how we got to know you. And thank you so much for being with us, for doing this work, and bringing it forward, bringing it to the people. Thanks for being with us today. Thank you.
Thank you.